Shavua Tov. It is the 17th day of Elul, and our shofar blowing team has enlarged. David is here from South Africa in Siena, Italy, with me, and Andrine and Howard are in Portland, Oregon. And today I want to talk about where the calls, the shofar calls, come from: Tikiyah, Shivarim, and Tru'ah. So the words themselves, I'll explore a little bit. The tikiyah comes from the biblical verb taka, which means to play or blow into a wind instrument. And a tikiyah is a single long note blown into the shofar. The shivarim, which is the second one, comes from the noun shever. The verb shavar means to break or to fracture. And so this was thought to be sobs or groans, which is what the shivarim was. The word shever in the Torah can signify a state of brokenheartedness or devastation. Tru'ah is related to the verb heruah and can refer to a cheer, a battle cry, a military command, or an outburst of jubilation. And so there are a lot of verses that use it that way. For instance, from Samuel, and all the people cheered and said, "Long live the king." And then another one, the men of Israel and Judah arose and cried and pursued the Philistines. I think the battle cry. The Tru'ah we play as a series of staccato notes. We usually count up to 9 during those, this da 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 da. But if you have really been paying attention, you will have heard Andrine play the Sephardic version of the Tru'ah, which sounds more like undulation, wailing kind of thing. And keep that in mind, because that's going to be important later on. Sometimes in the Torah, that word Tru'ah or its relations indicate a wail, a dirge, or a lament. So why does Tru'ah mean both a lament and a wail and this outburst of jubilation? So there's questions about that, and in the Talmud, the rabbis sit and discuss all the different things, because what's important is they want to get the sounds correct. Like the calls that we do, that we will be doing in a moment, have a certain order. And so in the Talmud, the rabbis start kind of discussing which sound is supposed to be which thing. So in the 4th century CE, Rabbi Abahu established the order of the shofar calls as being tikiyah, 3 shivarim, Tru'ah, and tikiyah, which is what we do today as our first set of calls. But one of the issues here is the idea of what the calls are supposed to sound like. So in this Talmudic way that often happens, a compromise is made because they're not exactly sure if the sound is supposed to sound like a ganicha, which is a lamenting sound, a moan or a sob, or the sound is supposed to sound like a yalala, which is more of a wail. So what they did was they said, well, we need to have shivarim Tru'ah as a bunch, and then just in case, we'll have shivarim by itself and we'll have Tru'ah by itself. So we cover all the bases because we're not exactly sure if we're doing this sounds exactly right. Okay, so that's which is what, like they always do, right? This is very Talmudic. We'll just do it. We'll do everything. We'll cover all the bases. But so this is from an article in Mosaic magazine that was written by Philologos. That sounds like a pen name, the renowned Jewish language columnist. And what this person has said was, because it said in the Talmud, it says a yalala, like this wail or cry. Is it supposed to sound like a yalala? And I said, well, what is that word? And this word sounds a lot like ululation. And in fact, it sounds like some other words in Arabic languages. Do I have this correct? Somewhere. Yes, so Arabic wulul and Amharic ulita are the two words that are similar. And in the Middle East, there is this kind of ululation thing that happens. And so there is a thought that this yalala sound was supposed to be this ululation. This is a theory of this guy, that this Tru'ah, if the ululation was Yalala, then the Tru'ah needed to have been that. And he points out, or I don't know who the person is, the ancient Israelites certainly didn't shout yay when sounding a cheer, or hurrah when charging at an enemy. They went when they were charging at the enemy. So there's this thought that maybe the Tru'ah is supposed to emulate the sound of this ululation.
Great.
Okay. True. No, I can't remember what I do. Tikia. Shivarim Tru'ah. Tikia.
Tikia. Shvarim. Tikia.
Tikia. Tru'ah. Tikia. Tikia. Shvarim Tru'ah. Tikia.
Tikia. Shvarim. Tikia.
Tikia. Tru'ah. Yeah. Tikia. Shivarim Tru'ah. Tikia.
Boy.
Again, if you're paying attention, we add extras each week. We're building up those lips for Rosh Hashanah. Happy 7th day of Elul.
Shavua
Shavua
tov.
Tov.
Shavua tov.